The great Mike Tirico, who was on the call for the Masters on Sirius XM, will join us from Augusta as we close up shop on Scottie Scheffler winning his second Masters in the last 3 years and putting himself in some pretty select company. He's 27, fourth youngest golfer to have multiple green jackets behind Jack Nicklaus, who was a little over 25. Tiger was a little over 25, and Seve Ballesteros was a little over 26 years of age. But Scottie Scheffler, all he does is play great golf. There's nothing dynamic about him. It's almost that kind of water torture. It's just slow, it's steady, and he knows what he's doing when he needs to, and certainly that back nine. That's what you want to see. You want to see somebody go out and win a tournament. 4 under, 68 in the final round, finishing at 11 under, winning his second Masters in the last 3 years. And this is what he had to say after winning.
I mean, how do you put this into words? You win the Masters, you're about to be a father for the first time. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, you're about to make me cry here in Butler Cabin. No, it's a very, very special time for both of us. I can't put into words what it means to win this tournament again. I really can't put it into words what it's going to be like to be a father for the first time. So looking forward to getting home and celebrating with Meredith. And it's been a long week here without her, but I'm just looking forward to getting home.
Okay, we're not to the point where it's Scottie or the field the way we were with Tiger. But the early odds to win the PGA Championship, Scottie Scheffler is a big favorite. Then it's Rory, Jon Rahm, Brooks Koepka, and Victor Hovland. All right, Seton, what's poll question we're going to start out hour one with?
Well, we might as well start right there. This one Paulie sent over. Would you leave the Masters on Sunday with the lead if your wife went into labor with your first child?
All right, here's Scottie talking about that with that exact question.
You and your wife, Meredith, are expecting your first child. You've maintained throughout the week, if you get a call, you're gone. Are you still saying that going into the final round?
Yeah, I'm sticking my word. Fortunately, I'll be here at the Masters for quite some time, and I think you only have your first child once, so I'd rather be at home if that's going to happen.
It is true, you only have your first child once, but I know what Scottie's saying there. Would you have left? Let's say you get to the 10th hole. So he's taken, the lead. He's on the 10th hole. It's right by the clubhouse. And all of a sudden, you get the call. She's going into labor. Todd, what would you do? You're leading the Masters. Your wife's in labor. It's time for you to go.
I think it's time to go.
You would go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially first child.
Seton O'Connor.
No, I'd stay.
Okay. Marvin?
I'd stay too.
All right. Paulie?
Okay, here's my answer. It's the second Masters for him and the first child. I would go. If it were flip-flopped and it was the second baby and the first Masters, I'm staying.
Okay.
So it's a sliding scale for me, baby scale.
Okay. I was fortunate that I was able to be there for all 4 of my children, but the last one was dicey on a Sunday night at SportsCenter. But, of course, that's obviously different. SportsCenter, far more important than winning a green jacket at Augusta. But I decided that I was going to miss SportsCenter that night. Sunday night, big night on SportsCenter.
Which is essentially the Masters of TV broadcasts.
Pretty much.
That Sunday night SportsCenter.
Yes, Paul.
All weekend watching the coverage, all the guys kept saying, he's going to walk off the course if he gets the call. Do you think, it's hard to, you'll never know the answer. Do you think at the turn, he gets a call with the lead, he would have actually walked off the course?
I don't know. He seems like a man of principle and felt like that was going to be the case. I was there when Payne Stewart and Phil Mickelson were going head-to-head, and Phil was going to leave if his child was born. Payne ended up winning that tournament, that major. But I remember that was a big storyline throughout the week that Phil said, hey, I'm going to, even if I'm in contention, leading, winning, if my wife goes into labor, I'm leaving. Yes, Eden.
My wife has always sort of had this attitude of, you're working, go work. So I think, obviously, we would have talked about it, and if she was just like, no, I need you in the hospital, then I would have left. But knowing just the conversations we've had over the last 15 years, she's always kind of been like, this is what you do for a living, and we need you to go do that. So go work, and we can figure everything else out.
Yeah, I mean, we're dealing with a hypothetical here. Would I leave if I was leading the Masters? I think Paulie brings up a great point. If it was my second child and it was my first Masters that I was leading, then I would have stayed. The first one, I mean, there's nothing like that. that first time, as long as there's no complications. Now, if you knew going into it that there could be complications, then I think you have to be there. But being there for the first one, nothing like it. Yes,
it's such an interesting insight into how first children are treated versus everybody else in the family.
Yeah.
Because they are treated like, well, you're the special one. Then there's the others.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, Paul.
I almost wish it would have gone the other way and it actually would have played out. At the 10, Scheffler with the lead, cruising, would have got the call and left. He would have been a legend in an entirely different community. Like today on sports shows, they'll talk about Scottie Scheffler, second Masters, great golfer. But if he had done the other thing, it would lead to Today's Show and Good Morning America and like evening news. He'd be father of the year before having a baby even. He'd be husband of the year.
Yeah, but he'd still get criticized, though. Like, hey, this is what you do. You're paid to do that. You're supposed to be out there. You should have known this. Like, I could just see the reaction here of what people would say, how they would react. It's difficult, but it's individual choice there. That whatever you feel like you're comfortable with, your wife is comfortable with. Now, the people on the outside, they don't understand. What conversations have you had? But I get it. And the fact that it was sort of looming there. Like, let's say she goes into labor as he's walking up 18. Does he go, nope, I can't finish here? I mean, at what point do you say, okay, I got to stay? Or, third hole, you might go, I got to go. Hey, 17 green. Plus, he's got to go to Texas. Like, she's not there.
Oh, she wasn't like one town over?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
That changes a lot of it, too.
Yeah. It's not like she was there.
What if it happened like a Sunday morning and he sent his caddy first, and then he plays a few holes, see if he's in contention?
Yes, Todd?
I kind of thought she was there and they could maybe set up some kind of birthing tent nearby where it's just, depending on how far along the contractions are, you can just kind of skip over from the hole.
So Butler cabin could be a Butler birthing cabin.
Exactly.
Like you could set something up there.
Why not?
Jim Nance is in there calling play-by-play.
Yeah, doula corner all of a sudden. You're like, hey, all right.
All right. I like it.
She's getting the epidural.
Here he goes. And it's a baby! Yeah, he's a polite golf laws. And the patrons would surround. What else?
Chubby little niner. Chubby little kid.
Chubby little niner.
Yeah. Let's see.
What else do you have?
We have also, which basketball program improved most?
Ooh.
Kentucky or Arkansas? We'll save that.
Yes. I like that one. A little spicy.
Yeah.
John Calipari going to Arkansas.
Yeah. That's a fun story.
Mark Pope going to Kentucky, coming back home. It's amazing. They sold out Rupp Arena for a press conference. There's no other place in college basketball. I mean, that's like SEC football, but it's SEC basketball. Mark Pope going there, and it felt like Arkansas won and Kentucky won. It was a win-win for both. And it felt like Coach Cal was going to jump before he was pushed, and you were able to bring in a former Kentucky player. And Coach Cal going to Arkansas. I like that he said, I went in to meet my team, and there's no team. I said, okay, good luck, Coach.
Dude is always great for a soundbite.
He is.
There's always something coming that you're like,
well, that's what he had at Kentucky because they'd all leave and go to the pros. So he's used to that feeling.
Yeah, it's the roster turning over every year. Yeah.
It's just wild, though. USC gets Eric Musselman. Andy Enfield goes to SMU. I mean, it's just kind of crazy connecting the dots there. And Coach Cal had a really good friend who has a lot of money in the Arkansas community and probably said, you know what? Let me reach out to Cal and see if he's interested. And lo and behold, he was. And going to make a good salary there. And I think it was best for both that it was time for him to leave Kentucky. And you bring in Mark Pope and felt like the fan base is excited. They're going to raise money for NIL, and they'll be ready to go.